Call this meeting to order. It is Tuesday, August 26, 2025. It's 9:40, and we're here for the monthly department head meeting. I'd just like to remind everybody that this meeting is to bring up things that you've already done, not things that you need, that we're not going to make a decision on later. So I'd appreciate that. We'll start with weeds.
All right, Bill Hargrave, Noxious Weed Superintendent for the county. I'm glad to be here this morning. We're going to give you a little bit of an update of what's happened in the last few months. We're going to start at the end of May. I got a citizen that wanted to have no spray signs for the frontage on their property, so we administrated that and gave them some no spray signs. And then in June we had our 4 free spray days, which were held at the Marble Creek shed, at the Osborne shed, and Richard Murray shed, and then Real Life Ministries at the Silver Valley at Pinehurst. And with that, we had approximately 80 citizens that we got to help out with giving them some diluted herbicide that was already mixed up that they could put in their own sprayers, or they could use our loan out program that we have with our backpack sprayers to go spray their properties. We approximately did about 300 gallons with all 4 spray days, so we got that under our belt. Let me see what else here. I did a bunch of inspections on the roadside spraying job by our contractor to make sure that he was in compliance with what we had in the contract. Everything checked out there really well. There was approximately 300 acres treated across the county on the roadsides, and along with the shop areas for the Public Works Department and the solid waste and the airport. Let's see here. Coming up here next month, we're going to have a blue weed pulling or treatment day that we're going to coordinate with the Forest Service on Beaver Creek. So we're working on that. And approximately to date, we got about 21 emails or phone calls about weeds that I've addressed from citizens throughout the county. And that's about it.
Okay.
Any questions?
No, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Solid waste.
Summer has been busy. The facility is definitely above capacity, no doubt about it, but we're working through it. Volumes are definitely up. There's no doubt about that. But going good so far. Everything's been working out.
Good.
So nothing really new to tell. So other than volumes.
Okay. More than last year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. For sure. Every year seems to
double,
inch up and up more and more.
A lot more loads to Missoula.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Wildfire.
Fire mitigation. We finished cutting and piling Miller's Way. Contractor will finish 8 Mile this week and be looking for another project. Our next project that's coming up is the Deadwood project. Hopefully get that started here in the next 2 weeks because we have a deadline of March 15th, 2026 on that one, just because of the money they gave us. Starting to hear about maybe some more grants coming. Like always, don't believe it until you see it. But there's the rumors will help there saying we're going to get some more grants.
Okay. All right, great. It's good news.
Yeah. Thank you.
Roads Department.
Okay. A couple of updates with some of the funded bridge projects that we have. We've been seeing a few minor delays with the strike out of Washington that's happening with some of the subcontractors on a couple of our projects. One of the bridges that we're having some issues with is the Potlatch Road, the Elk Creek Trestle down there. We're so very close to finishing it. We're about about a week out from being able to finish it, and what we're not able to obtain are the guardrails, because the guardrail subcontractor, is affected by the strike. So we're doing some scrambling to see what we can do with, some of the Jersey barriers that we have and some tapers, to get us into compliance so we can open up that roadway for traffic next week, as planned. So I'll keep you all updated with that, but we're getting close and we're coming up with some solutions for that. And, the Bullion Bridge on, the other side of Moon Pass, that one was slated to start on the 18th of this month, and, two of the subcontractors are, affected by the strike. And so I'm waiting for an update from LTAC, and the engineering firm to let us know what direction we're headed into. If it goes too much further, we might have to push construction out for that one until next year if things work out. Updates in our road districts, the Murray District, Road District number 1, they have spent the better part of the last little over a week doing some Durapatching. We have a Durapatching trailer that goes out. We have one that is shared among all of the districts. And so they'll go out and do some more proper patching and crack sealing. And so we did, because their numbers are so small up there as far as employees, they only have 3. We did send one of Smelterville's employee up there, and they were able to work as a good team. It was a good opportunity for training for one of the newer Smelterville employees. The Smelterville District, District 2, they have done a pretty good job of patching. It's just a never-ending job of cold patching. They really did. They hit Old Farm Road earlier this week. We had a safety complaint come in from a resident up there that a hole had opened up, and so we did do that. They are going to be doing in the next week or two. They're going to be doing the Durapatching in their district, so they'll go over some of those areas to hopefully help the patches hold a little longer. Excuse me. They've been focusing on hand trimming around the signs, so trimming the brush around any signs just to keep everything visible. Some of the stuff that can't be mowed back if you've got to get up there with trimmers. So they've been out doing that and working on equipment repairs. In the Osborne District, District number 3, they've had a hard focus on ditching. Their focus lately has been up Hurt, where they've had some issues. They did do another sweep of Silver Valley Road from Osborne to Wallace in the preparation for the projects that are going to be happening on that. And they did fix an issue on Silver Valley Road with a drain that was there. They had some problems with the drain, and so they got out there and took care of that. And then they've been doing some work around the shop as well and the yard. The Marble Creek District, District 4, they are a 2-man crew, and so their focus has been brushing and pretty much putting out the issues with call-outs, still heavy call-outs from the sheriff's office, lots of rocks coming down, trees, and so their corridor's pretty long. They've just kind of been going back and forth on that. And they have been working on stockpiling waste oil to prepare for the winter, and so that way they don't have to be trying to get oil down there, and that's for their furnace.
Okay, thank you. Planning and zoning.
Dan Martinson, Administrator. Got a whole host of things, but this month we processed or will process by the end of the month 24 building permits, which is a lot. 20 last month and 24 today, so I'm hoping that means we're a little slower in September, but September is usually one of our biggest months of the year, so we'll see next month how many we got. Year to date, we've got almost 141 building permits in the process, which is again probably 20 or 30 permits more than the typical. We usually do about 120. Subdivisions, we're still working on about 5 that are in the queue. I've been working on a whole bunch of boundary line adjustments, which are I consider mini subdivisions, but they're still a very substantial amount of time and effort to process the deeds and the record of survey. About 8 of those in the works, and there's always about 10 in the queue waiting for surveyors. Conditional use permits, we've got a couple in the works. One that's been a long-term one that finally is coming back around and is actually getting moved forward. Last month we did one for a guy, and that worked out real well. Code violations, we've got 10 active at the moment that are in process. At the moment, we've got about 6 building permit code violations that are in process of getting fixed, and we've rectified about 5 on each one of those. So that's been good progress on that front. We've been doing a whole bunch of work officially this last month on the area of impact ordinance. Most all the cities have returned their maps of their proposed new areas of impact, and so we've been working through the state legislation came back that we had to make a whole variety of changes to our old maps to eliminate split properties, to eliminate crossover AOIs with the other cities. So we're doing a lot of work there. That ordinance is 90% complete, almost ready to come forward, and then it should come forward. We're hoping sometime next month, and we can bring it in before you to be adopted. So that worked out pretty good. That's about it for planning and zoning. Disaster services, 2 good things. We've made some real good progress. We've been working all year on an E911 communications group and project, and last month we made some headway with Forest Service to advance a project for some enhancements at Dunn Peak, which will give a variety of access to particularly the Calder Avery area, and then enhance some ability to go up there with some repeaters and more antenna and different things. So that's going to be a nice advantage. We're hoping to get some of that done before the snow flies this year. And we have some SHSP money that was already slated for those projects, so that just a matter of putting together the specifics on what we need, and then hurry up and get that done in the next 60 days or so. We're also working on a project for the Wardner Peak site. The equipment building that's there is in fairly bad shape, has been for a long time, so we're working on a project with all the stakeholders of Wardner Peak, which is a bunch of the city, a bunch of other folks that are on that tower site, to work on a project for replacing that building. There's some interesting history. Talked to Duke Little and so on, and he gave us lots of history on some of those buildings and things that have happened. So pretty interesting stuff. Just as a FYI, if anybody really cares, in October is the annual preparedness and cybersecurity conference that IOEM puts together with IEMA, and that's this year going to be held in Moscow. So it's a three-day conference down there. IEMA will be, the Idaho Emergency Management Association will be holding their conference at the same time like we do in Boise. There is some opportunity for, I don't know if you've gotten those emails, there's certainly opportunity for other elected officials and other law enforcement, first responder folks, and even cybersecurity related folks to attend that, and then be sponsored by IOEM to pay for the hotel and the travel and the cost, and there's no cost to go to the conference. So I've been putting that out there to folks that if there's somebody interested in attending that conference, we've got some ability to go through IOEM will help pay for the hotel and the per diem and the travel costs. So certainly makes it sometimes easier to go if somebody else is paying for it. You know, and more to do with it. Beyond that, that's all I got.
Okay, juvenile probation, Mike.
Morning, commissioners and fellow department heads. It's good to hear everyone is busy this summer. I wouldn't assume anything less. But we've been starting to pick up with probation. I know that we're going to share some identical information. At my office is the office of the ILED counselor. So we work closely with her. But she is working with 22 different folks. 4 of them are actively in the ILED program. So it's an increase of 3 over the last couple of weeks. So we've had a good increase there of participants, plus our probationers, and I believe 2 other individuals that are court ordered to do treatment that are not on supervised probation. And she's also done 7 different assessments during the month. So she's been a very busy young lady, which is a good thing. For misdemeanor probation, we're at 38, which is a couple more than we had last month. It seems like we get a couple graduating, and then we have a couple, 4 or 5 more come on. So it's just the way it is. Misdemeanor probation is doing well. We're staying on top of things, and juvenile probation has 15, which is the same as we had last month. But Chrissy's doing a real good job with those folks. She's actually worked with 3 different families and made placements for them out of home in different programs. 2 of them went to the Idaho Youth Academy, which is in Pierce. which is a military type of school, which they're doing well so far. Another one went to a mental health program in Utah. And that takes a lot of work to get that stuff from here to there, a lot of paperwork and a lot of time. So I appreciate her work for that. She has 2 diversionary kids that she's working with, trying to help them avoid the legal system completely and have a clean record when they're done. And last but not least is our treatment court. We've had 2 graduates, so we have a total of 5 folks in there, and we're ready to have another graduate at the next treatment court on next Thursday. So we're losing some folks, and they've been working hard. They've been doing it over almost 2 years of work, and have gained their sobriety. And the last thing I would like to report is that we did something fun, believe it or not, for probation. This last Sunday, 7 of us took a nice hike up to Lake Brevet before it got real hot, except for the last part of it. But it was enjoyable and nice to work with some of those participants in a different way. And they can see us in a different way. So it made a good connection and a very positive experience. I enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Grants.
Colleen Rawson, Grants Administrator. Just kind of tie into what Mike was saying, the program, he downplays the importance that probation services plays in the ILED program because they are part of the case management, the tracking of the data, the information that we need to, de-identifying so that we can use it in a lot of our reporting that we use because it's very sensitive personal information, and so making sure that that's de-identified to use in our data is quite important. And Christy and Mike do a great job of putting that together and keeping people coming through there. So I really appreciate the work that they do on that. And the participants are they're very comfortable. And then I don't know if that's the right word to say, but they're comfortable with Mike and Christy and Jim, and so they're able to get into the program and work through the probation and the ILED program pretty effectively. We have a whole lot less recidivism in leaving the program than any other program that I've been able to get stats on in the state. We have a 66% completion rate. Other programs, if they can get 30%, they're doing happy dances. So we are double what the state average is on successful completion through these programs. So we've caught the attention of some of the state programs as well. So probation does an amazing job, and definitely appreciate them on that. We do have, specific to the ILED, we have 4 new. They all came in so quickly. It was just bam, all of a sudden we had 2, and then now we're up to 6 again. And so great success on a couple of them. There's some there's a lot of issues being identified, which was really a lot of the program. It's not just come in and you've been arrested for drugs, figure out why and help you get past those and then not do it again. And so it's all about decreasing recidivism. And the numbers that I've been able to pull up have been about 25, depending on what kind of program it is, $25,000 to $50,000 per person that successfully completes that saves in county expenses. And so we're coming up on our 3rd graduate. So, even just looking at those at $75,000 that is saved to county in that. There's, different numbers in just being able to get those assessments done. So when Jen does those assessments in the jail, those people are able to get out of the jail quicker, so that's less cost having that inmate in there, plus it's able to cycle through and keep that overcrowding down. So everything, it just has a ripple effect from this program that has been positively impacting the county financially and with the residents and getting the treatment that they need. So we're going to keep working towards that. We're working on our sustainability. There's been a couple, we're working on the credentialing to receive insurance money, and there's a new opioid settlement that will be coming out, so I've got to follow up on that, figure out what that looks like, work with the clerk's office to probably just keep that in-house rather than sending it over to Penn County Health. So that'll be a discussion for later once I understand what that settlement will mean to the county. So we'll bring that up in a different conversation. Starting webinars through GFOA and NIGP, the government finance officers and my national procurement associations that I'm a member of for the One Big Beautiful ad. They're starting to put out more information on how that affects grants and tracking, and they've been doing doing webinars on those. Did our first reimbursement for the grants on the airport. I have never had a less than 24-hour turnaround from Delphi to submit that. Submitted it, next day I had a confirmation it was approved and be sending out. So that was super smooth this time. Did a tour, so we have the RCIF grant through Commerce for the Idaho Strategic Resources. Commerce came up last week. We did a tour of the power line going up over Dobson and a tour of the mine with the paste plant that they've got going on, plus what's the next stages for power for up there. He was astounded at the distance of the power line upgrade that's been in, because it actually starts this side of Dobson. There's the main feeder that comes over the road, 9 Mile Road, and then it starts going up over Dobson Pass, and they did all those upgrades and all the way to the mine, and he was pretty astounded at the length of that. And so Commerce is very happy with the investment into that, plus seeing the upgrades to that is available for the residents and the city of Murray, and then on up to the mine. And in talking with the mine union, we were talking about the upgrades and how they were able to advance what they did, and the ripple effect, which is an economic indicator of every dollar that was invested from that grant money into the power upgrades and to the mine itself has a $3 return. So that $420,000 is now $130,000, $1.3 million that's come back into the community, because they were able to hire the local contractors to do a lot of the work, and getting that paste fill plant, they've extended their ability to do the mining. Once that's operational, they'll shorten those times, which just adds to it. So that's the economic impact from that one grant. And while I had Commerce pinned, we started conversations about equipment. So Commerce has block grants, and we were talking about the need for fire trucks and ambulances and equipment. And so I am working with them right now on the AMI information, the area median income, to see where we can qualify and possibly get block grants for fire trucks and ambulances for the future. Other than reports and the usual spreadsheet stuff, the exciting of it.
Okay, thank you. Commission have any questions, any concerns?
No.
Anything new?
It's tiring hearing all the work. Big list.
Any public comment? Okay. All right. Thank you all for coming, and thank you for sharing what you've done, and we appreciate it.
Thanks for what
Thank you
you're
for
doing.
great work. Meeting adjourned. Thanks.